Hello and welcome to this Android development tutorial. This is part 6 of how to make a gallery application for Android. In previous tutorials, we were able to have some useful features like delete, rename, get information, and all of those features, share, as you can see, also the thing about the image file name right here. So we were to long click an image, press on information, and here we see this. So something additional to this that we can add to the information would be actually very important in the case of pictures, the resolution of the picture. So we will do it right now and also add resolution to this. Okay, so we go to our unresumed method inside here on share button and info button actually right here. We're getting the file length, allows modification, and we're getting the file name, file size as well. Now we want to get the image resolution. For that we will create an outside method that will say get resolution. Private, we have to return two integers here, but we will return a string. Private string get res solution, or actually get image resolution, and we will pass another string which will be the image path. Okay, and we will return this string. So right here we have to get the image resolution, we have to pass the image path, and okay, let's start. So to do this, we have to read the image and read it in a bitmap, and then we can get the size of the bitmap. Okay, so for that we will say bitmap factory, bitmap factory dot options, and we will name this B options, or yeah, or just bitmap options, whatever we want to call it, just B options. Okay, and we'll set this to new bitmap factory dot options. Now B options dot ingest the code bound, and we'll set to true. What this is saying is that we want to just get the size of the image and not really the image itself, because that's time consuming and very resource intensive. Okay, right now we're just getting the code bound flag. Okay, now we actually will decode the image. For that we're gonna say bitmap factory that decode file, and the file path will be image path. Okay, and the options we will use will be B options. Okay, now what we will return right here will be the image width and the image height in a string way. For that we're going to create final int width, and width will be equal to B options that out width, the output of that. Okay, and then final int height will be equal to B options that out height, as you can see. Now what we will return from here will be return the string that value of, and inside here we will say width, and we will then add the x right here, because this kind of saying times, plus height. Actually, you can add two spaces right here. Maybe this can be an uppercase X. Yes, and plus height. Okay, so this is what we will be returning, and that is our get image resolution method. And of course, we go back to our info dialog method, and after we show the length of this, we will print a new line. So it's backwards, backslash new line. And next, in the next line, we will print get image resolution, and we have to pass the path of the image, which is files list dot get selected file index. Hopefully this will work. I am building now, and I will run it on the emulator to see if it works. So if I long click an image like this and I click on info, I can see that I have at the bottom the resolution of 1000 pixels times 1498 pixels. We can test these with this image right here. Info 192 pixels times 192 pixels. Okay, which is the resolution. So we have the path, the last modification, the size, and the resolution, which is awesome. Okay, now we have all those features kind of covered, okay, which are share, info, delete, and rename. But now we maybe want to add some another useful features like rotating the image. So you may have the experience that when you take a photo or you read a photo, download a photo, receive a photo, sometimes it's not in the correct orientation, so we need to rotate the image. For that, we will create more buttons. So since we have already 4 here, which are enough, in this bar, we will create them in the bottom bar. We have hide in the previous tutorial. So when we long click on an item, as you can see, if we find here, we're setting the visibility of the top bar to visible. Okay, but we also want to do that with the bottom bar. So we go to activity main.xml, and inside the linear layout we will set the ID of the last linear layout we have to bottom bar, as you can see. Okay, now we can go back to our main activity.java and create that view. Final view bottom bar will be assigned to find view by ID, r.id that bottom bar. And here inside the list view set item long click listener, after the top bar is visible, we will do the same with the bottom bar. So we'll say bottom bar dot set visibility, and we will set these to visible, as you can see right here. And the options we will have in this bottom bar will be rotate to the right or rotate to the left. So we only have 2 options. So we will leave only 2 buttons. We delete 2 buttons and we leave only 2 right here. We add the idea of the first one to rotate right or left. It could be maybe rotate left, because we'll be at the left side. So rotate left, and as text we also add text, and we'll say also rotate left. We will do the same with the next button, but with the right. So the ID of these will be rotate right, as you can see right here, and the text of this thing will be rotate right. Actually, I have to separate this so rotate right. Okay, great. Now we will run the app and check if the bottom bar is being shown or not. So I'm building the app and running the app on the emulator, and if I long click this, as you can see, I have the bottom bar that says rotate left or rotate right. Okay, but now the bottoms do nothing because we haven't set them up yet. So we go back to our main activity.java file, and we go to the bottom of it after the show info dialog button. Show info button, we will create the other two buttons. So first will be final button, rotate left button, and this will be set to find view by ID r.id.rotate left. Okay, and now we will set the click listener rotate left button, set on click listener new on click listener, and we will leave this empty for now, and we will create the other button final button, rotate right button will be set to find view by ID r.id.rotate right, and we will go and say rotate right button that's set on click listener new on click listener, and we will leave these empty. So we have to find a way in which we can rotate the image and update the changes of these. Okay, how can we do this? Okay, we will create a rotate method right here. We will say private void rotate image, and we will pass an integer of rotation. Okay, if we want to do this, if we want to rotate right, we want to do it by 90 degrees, right? And the same with left. So if we go and say left, we'll say rotate image inside the rotate left on click listener we are right now, and we set rotate image to minus 90 degrees, which are the rotation. And on the right button we say rotate image to 90 degrees. Okay, so now we have to do the most difficult thing, which is rotating the image right now. For that, we will create another bitmap factory options thing. And this time we will actually have to load the bitmap into memory. So let's try to do it now. Okay. The first thing we will do is go and create final bitmap factory options, and we will call them BMP bitmap options. Okay, and this will be set to new bitmap factory options. Great. Now here we have to figure out how can we input the file. Okay, great. So we have the options, and we want to know how can we do this. Okay, let me see. What can we do here is we have to create a bitmap object. Actually, we have to create a bitmap object that will store our bitmap. Okay, so we're gonna go say bitmap, and I will call it Oh, don't forget to import this. It's a bitmap, and I will call it bitmap in lowercase. Okay. And right here we will have to load the bitmap. So we have to actually get the path of the current image, and then we have to load the bitmap. Okay. For that we will create an input stream. We will create an input stream. Okay. We will go and say, actually before the bitmap, it'll say input stream in order for us to read the file. So input stream, we will call it input. Okay, and we will get these with get content resolver that open input stream, and here we have to pass the URI. So as you remember, we have already created that URI in a way in our share feature. If we go back to the share feature, as you can see, we have this. So we will copy these two first lines of the share feature right here. We will copy them and we will paste them on a rotation method just here and just here. Okay, and as you can see, we have the image URI set right here. When we open the input stream, we have to pass that URI, so we'll say image URI. Okay, as you can see, we have here warning that is that we are not catching deception, so we go and say surround with try catch, and the warning of course disappears. Okay, after this, what we will say on bitmap, well, in order for us to access this input from outside the try catch, we'll have to put it outside it actually. So we'll put before the try bracket, we'll put input stream input, and for now we will initialize it to just null. Okay, great. So if we want to reformat, we can reformat the code. Okay, so we have the input and that, and then we create the bitmap, and here we will set this bitmap to bitmap factory that decode stream, and we will set input, we will pass null without padding because we don't need it, so pass null. And here in options we will set our BMP options. Okay, great. Now, in order for us to do this a little bit more performant, we will later add more kind of optimizations if we need. Okay, so now, right now we have our new bitmap right here. Okay, and we want to rotate the bitmap first, because this is the rotate method. Okay, so we have the bitmap and we have to rotate the bitmap. And right now what I will say right here will be to enable the bitmap to store more kind of pixels or bitmaps, I don't know. Okay, to do that we will go and say bitmap equals bitmap that copy, and say this is for efficiency, maybe to allow us to reuse the bitmap to copy the new created one, kind of that way. So bitmap that config a RGB 888, and we will pass the true flag to make it a mutable bitmap. Okay, great. Now we can start and rotate the bitmap actually. For that, we will create a matrix element. So say final matrix. We have to import it, of course. Final matrix, and of course this will be set to new matrix. Okay, and on matrix we will say that set rotate, and as degrees we'll set rotation. Okay, great. Now we have our kind of matrix ready to be rotated, and now we will set bitmap. We can reset this because we enable it to be mutable. So bitmap equals uppercase bitmap that create bitmap, and inside this we will pass the following. So the first we will pass, of course, bitmap. Then we will pass the kind of start points, which is in this case 0, 2 zeros. Okay, and then we have to pass the width and the height of the bitmap. So maybe we can go say bitmap dot get width, and also bitmap dot get height, I think. Then we pass our matrix object, which we call just lowercase matrix. Okay, and as a filter we can, we'll pass it to true. Okay, now we have all of that just set for us, and the bitmap is created right now, as you can see. But now we have to write that bitmap into a file again. Okay, how we will do this? Okay, first we want to get and create a file. So we're gonna go final file out file, just the output file will be set to new file and out file name. In this case, out file name will be our file name, as simple as that. And the file name is, in this case, file path, as we called it previously. So file path. Okay, so we created the new file, and we will actually write it. Okay, for that we will create a try bracket right here, and we open this try bracket and we create a file output stream. So we type file output stream, we will call it out. We will set this to new file output stream, and we will pass the file name, in this case out file file path, in this case, right? File path. And when we do this, we open brackets, and inside here, so let's see what's going on here. Oh, it requires API 19. So we actually have to change this. So we go to our build.gradle file and go to minimum SDK version from 16. We will change it to 19, which most apps are made today. So in this year, most apps are made with min SDK version to 19. So we change this, we press on sync or on the elephant icon up here if you don't find the sync button, and we can go back. You can close this file for now. We can go back to our main activity.java file, and we can continue writing or rotate image function. And now we have an exception which will say add catch classes, okay, which is pretty normal. Okay, now we don't have any warning whatsoever and we can continue working. Okay, right now we will say bitmap. So here we have two options really. We have PNG files and JPEG files. So we will check which it is. Which is which. So if file path that ends with PNG will do something, and if not, every other case it should be JPEG or equivalent in this case. Okay, so right now if it's PNG, what we will do will be bitmap that compress, and we say uppercase bitmap that compress format, and we put that PNG, comma, and this is the quality. This can be 100% if you want, 85, 90. It really depends on your app. If you want to preserve the whole quality, you can go with 100, but for now, I think 85 is okay. It really depends. You can change that value later to test, and we will pass out as the compress attribute. And for JPEG, we will do basically the same, which is bitmap that compress. Okay, bitmap compress. Inside here we pass bitmap that compress format that JPEG as you can see right now. JPEG. Okay, so we will pass JPEG format to these, and we will also pass the quality. You can pass it 90%, 100%. Let's not test with 100, just to let you know that you can change these values of quality. Okay, and that will be out. So that's the bitmap right there, and after that we have created this, and we have to tell the system that we have created a new file for many purposes really. And for that we will set and change, maybe create a new image URI. So final URI, and we will set these to URI that parse and double quote file colon double slash plus out file dot get absolute path. So you're getting the absolute path of our file, as you can see right here. Okay, now we have set the URI, and we will use this to let the system know, the Android system, that we have a new file. So we say send broadcast, and we set new intent with uppercase first. Then we will pass intent that action media scanner scan file. So action, let me search for it, action media scanner scan file. Okay, and as the next parameter of these we will pass our URI. So the URI is actually what will be scanned by this system. Okay, great. Oh, this needs a string apparently. So let me see right here. We have an intent right here, and we want it for the system to be scanned. In order to make the system to scan the file, we basically want to set the intent. So I think the error here is that this URI is before closing the parentheses. So right here. Okay, now we don't have any errors. And now we have this new, we have rotated and updated the file. So now we can, maybe if we just notify dataset, will it work maybe? So let's see. Gallery adapter, I cannot access gallery adapter from here. So you have to set gallery adapter as a global variable apparently. So we go back to our onResume method and we will find our gallery adapter right here. And instead of creating it inside the onResume method, I will create it as a global variable. Okay. So this will be outside the onResume private gallery adapter. And now we can go back to our rotate method right here where it was. I've lost it. Okay, here it is. After we send the broadcast, we'll say gallery adapter that notify dataset changed. I don't know if this will work because this broadcast may take some time to complete, but we will see. Maybe it works. So now we will run the app and we will try to test the rotate functionality. Okay. So the app is being compiled right now. As you can see, it will hopefully work. If not, we will fix it. But of course, we are trying right now to compile it. It is now scanning files to index, installing APK, and it's running. Okay, if I want to rotate this first image, I long click on it and I press rotate left, and I see that nothing happens. But now I will launch the app again to see if the changes are there shown, but it's not working as I expect. So something here is missing actually. It's not being rotated as we want. Okay, so if we rotate this, it's not working as we expect. So we have to do something different to find out what's going on. Okay, if we run the app again, maybe we can know if the image was rotated and it was not. Maybe we have an error right here. So we have the file path, we have the files list. Okay, maybe we have to okay, the file path is the files list and gets the item at the select file index. Next we go here and parse this. We read the bitmap as you can see right here. Maybe something is missing right here, you know? Maybe something was missing in our code. Let me check. I don't think so, but maybe sometimes I miss something. Let me see right now. Okay. Apparently it's okay, but I don't know. Let me see right now. Let me see. I'm just trying to think about what just happened. And we have the path, the options. Okay. The options of the bitmap. Maybe this is the problem. The options of the bitmap. Maybe this is causing the problem. Can we use this without this? Can we pass this without options? Let's try to run it again, check if it works, if it doesn't crash at least. So let's see, long click, rotate, and we will run the app again. And now it's still the same orientation. Let's see here, rotate left, like this, rotate right, and here, because the rotate images method is being called, but something is not working as we want really. So I will have this fixed for the next video, and I will show you the fix. Hopefully something really stupid, but I will fix it for the next video. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I see you in the next one, in which we will fix this rotation feature. Thanks for watching.